Today it's a full body overhaul, as it always is. We will be focusing on key target areas, but the whole body will be getting a bit of a shift. We are focusing, like I say, on squat and deadlift mobility. Again, if you don't squat and deadlift, it doesn't really matter because you do squat and deadlift even without realising it when you're out there in the big bad world, getting up out of your chair, walking up the stairs, picking something up, sacks of potatoes, pulling turnips out your fields. That is all a form of a deadlift movement, okay? So quite often or not, when we fix those kind of key areas that are responsible for those movements, you'll get better at life in general, and you'll often find you'll feel a lot more supple, a lot more limber. Anyway, we're getting straight into it this morning, and we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So squats, first of all, ankle mobility. As I'm sure you're well aware by now, ankle mobility is huge. We need to have that range in our ankle joint in order to let in order to let the knee bend so that we can actually get down into that depth. That's what a lot of people lack. A lot of people end up falling forwards, especially when you've got a bar on your back for back squats. You need a hell of a lot more ankle mobility than just body weight squats, and that's where you'll often find people start to drift forward because they can't bend the ankle anymore, or they start bringing their heels up off the ground. So the first thing we're going to do is get up against a wall. You should have a wall because, you know, if you don't have a wall, I'm sure you've got a fence post or something digging about. And all we're going to do is stretch out here, down the bottom, down towards the Achilles, right down towards the heel. Okay, so we're getting up to a wall, we're getting the toes up against the wall, and we're getting that slight bend in the knees. Okay, let's do that now. Good. So it's easier if you can do it in an actual doorway, because then you can use the door frame to pull yourself and get a bit more leverage. If you don't have that luxury, any wall will do. What's important, if you're struggling, so I'm talking through the setup, if you're familiar with this stretch, go straight into it, and I'll talk you through it if you've never done it before. If your ankles are severely tight, you'll probably struggle to get your toes high and up off the ground, up the wall, so that when you start actually moving, your toes just slide off the wall. So if you're struggling to get your toes up, lean back, get them up, and then you can do this even if you have got good mobility, you'll get a better stretch. Slight bend in the knee, okay? We're getting a slight bend in the knee first. Now when I'm hanging here, I'm already feeling that because I've got my toes very high up the wall, okay? That's how we get a good stretch here. If your toes aren't very high up the wall, reset and sort it out now. I'm keeping a slight bend in my knee. So straight away, I'm feeling the stretch down the lower portion of my ankle. That's right in the joint, okay? So we're trying to mobilize that joint and stretch all that tightness out. Why are we bending the knee? Because if we lock the knee out, you're going to feel it in your calf muscle at the top here, okay? You're going to feel it more in the calf muscle. So now that I've got that stretch, I'm trying to enhance the stretch. I'm doing that by keeping that slight bend in my knee always. And I'm getting up and I'm getting on top of it now, okay? So now I'm trying to pull myself towards the wall. Do not ease out of the stretch. We know this by now, come on. Don't ease out of the stretch. I'm pulling myself in, I'm getting more and more weight on top of that, and now I'm really feeling it, okay? That's uncomfortable for me, that's very uncomfortable. So all we're doing with these stretches, we've just got straight into it this morning, holding them. 2 to 3 minutes we're holding these stretches for, everybody. So don't try and ease off. The purpose of that is we're taking it to a point that's very uncomfortable, which I'm at now. I'm focusing on deep breathing. Yep. And then as it starts to ease itself off, I go a little bit further into it, okay? Keep it going. And keep breathing, keep putting more and more pressure down on top of it, making sure you keep that knee bent. If you're feeling it more in the actual calf muscle here, it's because you've locked the knee out, okay? We don't want that. So now for the last minute, I'm going to get right up on top of it, okay? We're not doing a lot of stretches on the ankles, so make the most of this one this morning. We've got a lot of work on the hip area today. So now I'm taking it to the point where it's very uncomfortable, and I'm struggling to keep a straight face here. Trying to though, because I'm on camera. Good. Really go for it, really take it out, that zone. Good. Good, and ease it out. Very slowly ease out. Walk around a little bit. Good. And now I want you to change legs. So straight away, you should feel that. I hope everybody's feeling that. I'm sure if you're doing this live, is the connection still a bit dodgy? It is looking at. Hang fire. Hang fire, everybody. Change legs, do it on the other side. I'm just seeing if there's anything running that's causing this to be crap this morning. So do the other leg, please, while I'm messing about with this. Yep, that's what's wrong, everyone. I do apologise. Hopefully it will get better now. Right, we're back. Hopefully that'll get better. My Dropbox was uploading in the background. All these circuit videos are trying to upload and sync. Right, anyway, change legs if you haven't done so already. Hopefully in a couple of seconds that internet will be better. Right, so like I said before, don't shout, we'll change legs. I'll talk you through it again. So you can see from here, I'm leaning right back, okay? I'm leaning right back so that I can get my toes right far up that wall and get my heel as close to the ground, as close to the wall as possible, okay? It's no use you walking and just putting your toes on, starting to stretch and then your toes slide down the wall because you're that stiff. Lean back if you need to, good. Slight bend in the knee, straight away, just hanging out there. I'm starting to feel it. I'm going to try and get as close as I can, take it to the point where it feels very uncomfortable. It feels like I'm at almost the limit of its range. Good. And I'm going to focus on deep breathing, okay? I'm trying to take it to the point it's uncomfortable. As with all these stretches today, again, I'm probably going to keep repeating myself and I'm going to say I'm not. But none of these stretches, when we're holding these stretches, I'm not holding it so that you can chill out, so you can take it to a point and be bored, okay? You should be taking it to a point where it's very uncomfortable. Breathing deeply, trying to relax the muscle while constantly trying to increase the tension, okay? Trying to increase that range. So again, I'll keep telling you, consciously take it a little bit further now. A little bit further, get that knee closer to the wall. Good, this is where if you're in your socks, you'll probably struggle. If you're in you'll probably need a bit of rubbery sole or something to grip that wall or door or barn door, whatever the hell you are in the world. Good. Leslie lost her yoga mat, I saw that blown away. Good. Good, so we're taking it a little bit further. Let's not be easing out of that. Come on, remember what I said. In order to get the best out of these stretches, if you're just taking it in and out and chilling out, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but then at the same time, it's not really ever going to be. Unless my chat's amazing, which, you know, it really is. So this is where I would say to you, have some music on in the background. That's why I keep these silent with just my voice. My relaxing voice. Good, and ease out everyone. So, if you've done that right, you're walking about now, you'll probably feel it in the back of your ankles. You'll probably feel it, we'll keep testing these squats this morning. So I want you to try and do some squats, nice light-hearted squats. Bearing in mind, take your time because we're not exactly warm. And I want you to keep testing the range as we start exploring different areas. So straight away, when you're squatting, you're trying not to fall forward. Your back angle is going to be angled, obviously, depending on how tall you are. If you're taller like me, you're going to have that angle. But if you're going down and you're feeling your squats drifting onto your toes and those heels coming off as you hit depth, 9 times out of 10, that's your ankles, folks. Unless, of course, your knees are caving in which case it's your groin, but we'll talk about that later. So that is your ankles. I'm showing you that stretch there because you can do that anywhere, okay? You're usually surrounded by 4 walls, especially during these crazy times. Most people that come through my door who are crap at squats when they first start, it's their ankles are severely tight. Yep. There's a few on the video just now, you're probably like, yeah, that's me, and they're still crap because I don't listen to a word he says, I don't do them in one time. Anyway, runners, here's one for you. The muscles that run up the front, I'm not going to start naming muscles, maybe I don't know them, maybe I'm just full of crap, but I'm not going to start naming them because there's no point. Those muscles that run up the front of your shin, a lot of people forget they're there, okay? Quite often or not, we don't stretch them, so we're going to get onto our knees. How's that connection? How's it looking? Is it better now? Yes. Yep, someone remind me, I need to make a checklist. That bloody Dropbox, it always does that. Right, so all I'm doing, I'll show you from the front, knees underneath my hips, but I'll show you from the side so you can see what I'm doing here. Make sure you're leaving enough room between your heels for your butt. So if you've got a big butt, you're going to need to leave a bigger gap than someone who doesn't have a big butt. And all I'm going to do here is take care with the knees. You can support yourself initially with your hands and just lower the weight down. And I want you to imagine, so this gap here down at my heel, I'm trying to close that gap, and it's important that you focus on relaxing, okay? So this one, if you run a lot and you don't stretch out here a lot, you're probably going to find this excruciatingly sore, okay? Now, grin and bear it, get on with it. Remember, pain, discomfort, 2 different things. If you're getting burning sensations, shooting pains, anything like that, that's not good. That's nerves, and we don't want to be playing around there too much. So Can you see what I'm doing? I'm slowly starting to ease the weight down. Now, what you have to be careful with here is the toes. The toes here, I'm trying to relax them, because if you think a little bit, you're probably pushing against it because it's uncomfortable. So you need to relax into this, okay? All I'm trying to do is slowly work my hands back behind me until I've got maximum weight on that, okay? So take it as far back as is uncomfortable, but you have to focus. I keep emphasizing this point here, people. You need to focus on relaxing those ankles, relaxing those feet, those toes, so that you actually get down. Are people struggling to hear and see me? Because I keep getting people coming out, walking up to the camera, fidgeting about. Leslie, what's going on there? Are you okay? Can you hear and see me okay? Struggling to see me? You can't see me. You can see me. You cannot see me. Jeez, oh man. Is everybody else able to see me okay? Good. See, it makes me nervous when people start coming out of stretches and chilling out and looking about and farting about like Leslie. Okay, so like I say, it's not the most interesting thing in the world, this. Especially these ones down the lower body. Okay, so now I want you to really focus on getting back there, okay? Really getting back, shifting all that weight now down onto these. So again, if you run a lot, this is a good one for trying to combat, geez, I don't even know what I'm saying, shin splints, okay? This is a good one for combat, and it's not going to prevent it, it's not going to cure it, but it's a good way to help minimize the risk of getting them. Because that muscle often gets forgotten about, and you can see now, the way we're doing this, you're like, oof, didn't even know that was there. Okay, so we're going to come out of this slowly. We need to be slow here. And just take it out of the knees nice and easy. Good. And same again, I just want you to stand up. So you're probably going, oh! If you've never really stretched that area out before, or it's very stiff, that can be a horrible one, okay? But if it is, like any of these stretches, if you're finding any of these stretches we're doing, or mobility movements pretty awful, then I suggest you do them more often, okay? The ones you find really hard, the ones you find really uncomfortable, the ones you struggle with, do them more and more, and honestly, you'll be surprised how quick you get better. Most people don't stretch that area out too much, and that's important. That's important for that full ankle range of movement. So next up, we're going to get into the quads. Now, I would rather do this one stood up. We'll usually do it lying down, but you just don't get the same stretch in my opinion. So it's best if you've got a wall to hold on to. I hope you can see me. I'm not going to hold on to the wall so that you can see me better across here. So all I'm doing, quads, that big muscle that runs up the front, the big muscle group, that can get tight. That can get tight without realizing it, and that's responsible. So you're going to start feeling a lot of this is where we can get knee pain, a lot of instability in the knee. You're starting to squat and that knee moves uncontrollably. It may or may not just be that your quads are pretty tight. So simple stretch, probably done this one at school. All we're doing here from the side is I'm trying my best to get a good bit of balance, okay? No point, if you're like this, if you're going around like this for 3 minutes, pointless, okay? Do what you need to do, hold onto a wall, pull your ear, or just, you know, if you're outside in the garden, look at a daisy. That daisy's not moving. I'm looking at an imaginary bit of dust on my floor, imaginary because it's spotless. So, all I'm doing first, knees are together, everybody. I'm grabbing my laces, and now with the hips, pushing them forwards. So straight away when I push those hips forwards, and keep those knees together, I'm feeling that stretch, okay? So it's a combination of pushing the hips through, keeping the knees together, and really pulling those laces in. Okay, now we must keep constant tension on this one. Now, this is where if you're struggling to balance, you're going to get tired. That's why it's better to hold on to something. If you're constantly balancing on one leg and you're struggling for balance and you're wobbling that foot, that calf muscle will get tired and you'll start focusing on the pain in that more. I can't talk and look around apparently. Oof, I'm away again. Oof, I'm away again. Good. So constant tension on this one, okay? This is an easy one. Nothing crazy. We're working our way up. And again, when we start hitting the hip area and the hamstrings, that's when the sweat's going to start dropping. Good. So again, don't ease out, keep pushing it forward. Why are we dropping down, Cheryl? It's always you right in the centre of my screen. Stop easing out of these stretches, people. Come on. Good. So again, nothing exciting about this one, but relax. Change legs, shake out. Good. So quads. Again, it's probably an area that we don't really focus on. We're too busy thinking about our hamstrings, our glutes, our lower back. We forget about the quads. Easiest way to stretch it is just move it through its range of movement and take it to the extreme. And again, we're focusing on pushing those hips through. Good. Fantastic, everyone. So, connection better? Still hear me okay? Fantastic, good. That was stressing me out there. But it is what it is. Good. So while we're chilling out here, I'll talk because, you know, might as well talk. Might as well do something productive with the time. With these stretches, when we start moving on to the hip area, especially if you're new to this, or even if you're not new to it and you just don't listen, when we're doing these stretches, especially the hip ones, take this one further now, last 30 seconds. When we're doing these hip stretches, I'm taking you into a range. I want you to have the freedom of moving around within that stretch to try and enhance it any way you can, okay? So don't just take it and hold it. It's pretty difficult with these because there's not much range to go on. Ease out there. That's you. Relax. Good. Get some water on board and keep the water going throughout this session, please. Keep sipping that water. So now we're going to move on to the good old hamstrings, okay? There's many ways we can stretch out the hamstrings. Now because this is, again, no equipment to make it easier for everybody, like I always say, the easiest one's to get a band hooked around your leg and try and make your body into an L, but we don't all have that luxury, so we're doing stuff that works for everyone. So we're going to sit down now. We're going to sit on our butt. I'll move back a bit. Good. So all I'm doing, legs as wide as I possibly can, okay? But you take your legs as wide as you can, keeping your knees on the ground. So it's no use you going, oh, look how wide I can go, and you're like this, knees are off, okay? Keep them flat, go that far. We're going to do one leg at a time now, okay? Stick with me here. Come on, Leslie, hurry up. So I'm going to stretch off my right first, okay? So I want you to keep this leg, your left leg planted, knee down, go towards that right leg. Now, I don't want you doing what I'm doing, okay? See how I've just grabbed my toes and I'm holding it? There's no point in that, okay? If you can grab your toes, I want you to just go past them. And I'm trying to get my chest towards my shin, towards my knee. Now with your hands, you can do what you want. For the start, I'm just trying to get that stretch on initially. Where do you feel this? Probably in your hamstring, here, okay? But you might feel it in your lower back. Your lower back might be really tight, so you might be feeling your lower back working here. So this is where I'm telling you to have the freedom of this movement, okay? I want you to move around. For example, here, I'm feeling it tight, but if I go there, I might feel it more. So please move around within that range. We're trying to target the hamstring here, okay? So moving around with the hands as well. Let's get it going. A lot of farting about, a severe amount of farting about. Get into a stretch, find the stretch, hold the stretch. Right, I've got the stretch. Focus on my breathing. Muscle starts to relax a little bit, take it a wee bit further. That's what we're trying to do. Once you feel you're getting that good stretch or you're in that good zone, then we need to start trying to find little pockets of even more tightness by maybe moving to the right, maybe moving to the left, but never easing out, okay? When I'm saying moving around these stretches, I don't mean start coming in and out and relaxing. We have to keep constant tension on here. We're trying to say to our brain, hey, look, it's okay to go this far. It's okay to go to this range. If you go in and out too early, you're not going to get that message across. Does that make sense? That's the simple science. So now it's starting to ease out. Now I'm going even further. Now I'm starting to get my hands and my body lower. That opposite leg still stays where it is. Come on, everyone. Let's work for it. There's a lot of relaxing going on. Good. Good. So it's okay if you feel this in your lower back. If you're feeling it tight here in your lower back, that's okay. We're still stretching that area out. All these muscles are connected. That's the point I'm trying to get across with this. You might feel that your back's always tight and you blame your hamstrings when it might not be your hamstrings that are tight. It could be your glutes. Good, and we're going to ease out. If you haven't done so already, I'm seeing an awful lot of premature easing out and farting about, but again, I keep telling you, if you want to get the best from this, you need to take it outside your comfort zone and hold it there. So you're all adults. You do what you want. Right, I'm moving across to the next side now, okay? If you want, if you look at me, so I might go there and it just feels awkward. Oh, if that's really tight. If you want to just spend the first 30 seconds just in and out and moving around just to get rid of that initial stiffness, go for it. Do not sit there and do this and then after 30 seconds go, oh, and then back into it. Because like I say, all you're doing there is making yourself feel good. You're not getting any benefit from this. The purpose of these mobility classes is to get you better, increase your range of movement, okay? Take you out that comfort zone. That's what we have to do, unfortunately. It's like life. It's a life lesson, this. If you want to get better, you have to go that little bit further than your body wants to. But I'm taking it to that point first, okay? I've got it, I can't go any further, or I feel I can't, or something's going to snap. I'm keeping that tension there, I'm keeping it constant, I'm focusing on my breathing. If you focus on that deep breathing, after a few breaths, you'll feel, oh, wait a minute, it's not as tight anymore. Take it a little bit further. Just trying to work inches, okay? Even millimeters. Just a little bit further each time, okay? Let's keep it going, let's keep it going, and keep that knee down. Good. This is where, if you look at me, don't ease out though, if you are looking at me, I'm now moving my hand underneath my ankle so that I can pull my body even closer now, and now I'm really woofed. Aye, now I'm really getting it. So that's what I mean, be creative. If you've got tension and you want to increase it, you might have to move your position of your hands. So for me now, I'm really starting to get down there and I'm really starting to feel that in the hamstring, right behind the knee. Again, it's not as exclusive as the hamstring stretch when we're lying down banded, but again, this stretch is different. It's not that this is inferior to the other hamstring stretch. If you feel this one, you're probably feeling it more in your lower back if you're pretty tight as well. Groin might even be getting a little bit of it in here. So it's not that we're doing this and it's crap compared to the other one. The other one's more of an exclusive hamstring stretch. This we're getting a bit more. Good, and we're going to ease out slowly there. Good. So shake it out as always. So put your hands up if you're on this and you felt that in your lower back, probably more than your, yep, I'm there with you, me too. And again, it depends on the day of the week for me. It depends what training I've been doing. But for example, I don't know if you want my life story. 2 days ago I done deadlifts. So my lower back's tight, as in it's sore, it's stiff, it's tired. So I was really feeling it probably more in my lower back initially than my hamstring. Whereas in a few days' time I might do it and I might feel it more in my hamstrings. That's why there's no right or wrong. I'm moving you into these ranges. If you're feeling it tight in your back and your back's easing out of it, then you've benefited from the stretch, okay? So everybody's different and that's what I'm trying to get across. You might be going, oh, I'm supposed to feel it in my hamstring, but I can't even get that far. That's fine. Right, the good old classic groin stretch. We love this one. Nothing changes with this one. It's a staple. It's important. We're going to be doing the seated, well, I suppose it is the kneeling groin stretch. So you get into that position now. I'll show you first. We're trying to get the knees as wide as we can, but when you're going into this position, you'll be able to pull them wider, okay? So all you're ever trying to do on this is pull your knees apart wider. Now, why are we doing this? Groin, okay? Well, groin's hugely important across a lot of movements. Well, deadlifts and our squats, especially more important with squats, as you're hitting depth, you need to be able to open up your hips by pulling your knees apart, and that's where a lot of people, again, come through my door initially. They're quite tight in that area. Hips, ankles, and shoulders are always the key areas for your squats and movements. If you can't pull those knees apart, you're not going to be able to hit adequate depth, or if you keep going down with a tight groin, that's when the weight starts to shift forward. So you'll get more depth in your squat, and you'll be able to maintain better form. And by getting more depth, you're getting more out of it, working more muscle groups, working them through a greater range of movement, and getting a hell of a lot more out of the exercise than you would. Plus, if not just squats, you know, I keep saying footballs, etc. How many times do you pull your groin? Because you just go into a full stride or a full kick without being loose in that area. So all I'm doing, I'm showing you side on now. So all I'm doing, getting those knees as wide as I can, and then I want you to walk the hands out straight. Now my body's pretty much, well, you can see what my body's like here, okay? My back's pretty much straight. Now what I'm trying to do is I'll show you by rocking. I'm trying to push my hips back that way, okay? Imagine you're going down into the depth of a squat, and all I'm doing is I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back. Taking it to that point again. Now, I'm pulling my knees apart a wee bit more. That's pretty awful for me right about now. That's pretty awful. That's my groin. It's getting a good stretch. Feels like it's probably going to snap, but it's a good stretch. Now this is where it has to be uncomfortable to get the bit. Well, it doesn't have to be uncomfortable, everybody's pain tolerance is slightly different, but it has to be a constant, okay? Yes, it's uncomfortable, but it should be getting a hell of a lot more uncomfortable because I'm trying to go further now. Walk the hands back. I'm trying to strive to get that butt towards my heels. You don't have to have the arms straight here, okay? You focus on doing whatever you need to do because we're trying to target that groin. So I've brought my elbows back so that I can really push myself back into the depths of that, and that's pretty awful, everyone, I won't lie to you. Okay, now we must keep that back straight though, don't start arching because then all you're doing is tilting the pelvis and easing that stretch off. So I'll be quiet and I'll let you breathe. Breathe, big breaths, deep breaths, constant tension. Good, you'll start slipping a little bit further. Good, play around with it. Remember, we're focusing on the groin, the adductors. Again, very tight muscle group. Right, 30 seconds more, everyone. Take it as far as you can now. Really focus on pulling those knees apart. Really focus on pushing those hips back, trying to get that bum back far as you can. Yep, good, keep going. Come on, take it to that point. Let's get better. Force it out of its comfort zone. This is where the body heat starts going up and we start getting a sweat on. Ease out very, very slowly, okay? So it's uncomfortable. Back onto the knees. Oh, ho, ho. Good. Well, I hope you done that right and I hope you felt it. You can really take that one. So back on your feet and let's just shake that one out. So that's the groin. Again, we're working with our, what are we on now? Kneeling groin. Right, we're going for that warrior one now, the one that we really, well, we love to hate. This is the one that I think's probably one of the best stretches for your hips, hence why we do it every time, okay? It's not that one before people start getting ahead of the game, but it kind of is. So all I'm going to do is get my hands and feet need to be in line, okay? So if you've got your hands away behind here, you'll be really arched. If you've got them way forward, you're not going to feel the same stretch. So I want you to plant your hands next to your feet. I hope you can see me. Good. Right, so it's probably best that I stay facing the camera so you can see what angles I'm going at. So if you need to, you can pin that hand on the foot. And again, all we're doing here is replicating doing basically a squat one leg at a time. So if you look at that leg that's in front, it's basically at the bottom of a squat or how it would look. And that's what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to unlock, again, you'll feel this more in the groin, but that's what we're trying to unlock. You might feel it in the back leg. If you're tight, it's perfectly normal to feel it on that hip flexor in and at the groin a little bit on that back leg. So first thing first, we're just trying to get that stretch, okay? We're trying to get that stretch in the groin, trying to maybe get it on that back leg, hip flexor, and I'm trying to bring my chest up, okay? I'm only going to move so you can see, so don't you move. So you might be like this. You're trying to strive to get that chest up, okay? Now that's where a lot of people struggle. They've got a lot of tightness in the groin, but also a lot of tightness on the thoracic spine, that mid-back. They struggle to be able to do this movement, and that's something else we're going to tackle later on in this session because that's an important range we need to work on and a lot of people lack, tend to be just bad posture, and I'll explain why we may hit that. So this is important now, okay? So I'm pulling that knee apart. Again, I'm showing you from the front. So I'm pulling that knee apart. And now that I've got that, I've hung out there for about a minute now, we're going to start exploring it. So we're keeping that knee pulled out, and I want you to start twisting the body around the other way, okay? Now, as you do that, you're really going to start feeling it, getting a good stretch here. Now, an important point is if you're tilting this way, don't start letting the knee come with you because you're just basically taking the stretch in the same position and moving it around. We're trying to enhance it. So that knee's out, I'm pulling it out. If you have to put your hand on there as you turn round to encourage it, so be it. Drive your toes into the ground as you would when you're squatting, and don't, okay, key point here, as you're twisting away, don't start lifting the hips up because again, you're taking that stretch off. What I'm trying to do is basically get my belly button to go down and around while keeping that knee pulled out. So straight away here, that's awful. Right, that's pretty awful for me, okay? Struggling to keep a straight face. But it's important, we're still trying to drive those hips towards the ground here. If you're up as you're going round, then you're, again, all you're doing is moving the stretch you had into a different angle. You're not, that's it. Drive the toes into the ground to keep that stability in the foot to help keep that knee out. Good, and this is where you've got a little bit of time to manoeuvre. Okay, so for me, I start to go more that way. Oh, wow, I start to feel it more. Play around with it. So you've got the tension. I'm trying to increase the tension. I can go here. I can go there. Try and move around those pockets of tightness. Okay, I'm not easing off here. I'm not moving around in little circles to ease off. I'm moving around in little circles to take it further. Okay, now I want you to come back to the middle. Do not ease off. Do not ease off when you come back to the middle. Okay, again, it's uncomfortable, but it doesn't last forever. Good. Now, what I'm trying to do is get the chest and belly button towards the leg now. Again, keep this foot flat on the floor. I'm going to drop my elbow. You might not be able to yet, but hold it there for a minute and you'll be able to drop that elbow. And when you drop that elbow, you'll really start to feel you can get there, okay? Do not let the foot come off the ground. If you let the foot come off the ground, you're going to start feeling it in the glutes, and that's not what we're targeting. So now I'm trying to pull myself towards that knee, towards that ankle, play around with it. Horrible, not as horrible, horrible. Find pockets of tightness. Everybody's different here, okay? Don't just hold it there and chill out, because that's where I told you to go. Move around, different angles. Find that area where it's tight. Good. I hope you're feeling that as much as me. This is a very good stretch, everybody. Usually the ones that are most uncomfortable are. Good. And now I want you to come back to the middle, nice and slowly. Back to the starting position. Good. And I want you to slowly stand up, ease out. And this is where after doing that, you'll probably feel lopsided on your hips, okay? That's perfectly normal. You've now got one hip capsule, one joint, one side of your body really mobile, and the other one's still a little bit stiff. So you can feel a little bit drunk, unless you are. So, I wish I was. So, yes, we're going to change legs. So that's important now. That's important for being able to do that kind of range of movement. We need that. Again, it's going to help you get down into that squat better. So I'm going to change legs. And when we practice with squats after this, as we keep doing, you should feel a hell of a big difference when you go down, especially when we throw that lovely hip capsule one in after it, which we love. So back onto the other side. And again, it might feel a bit weird. So now we're on the other side. So this side's a lot tighter. Good. It's a lot tighter for me, should I say. I didn't mean that. I mean, this side's a lot tighter for me. Good. So all I'm doing is I'm hanging about here in this initial stretch first. So I'm not chilling out. This is pretty uncomfortable, I won't lie. I'm pulling my knee apart, I'm pushing my hips down, I'm trying to force that chest up. Okay, it's pretty uncomfortable. The reason we're hanging out here first is because if I go too prematurely into these kind of nooks and crannies, you'll be too tight to get much from it, okay? If anybody's cramping up, just shake out and move around and drink some water. Good. Oh, now everybody's moving around. Come on. Jeez, oh, give you an inch, you take a mile. Oh, I've got cramp. Cheryl, what are you doing? What even is that? Good. Right, so now it's time to explore, people. I'm driving those toes into the ground, remember. If you need to grip it and pull it apart with that arm, do so. But consciously, just take it little bits at a time. I'm twisting away. Take it little bits at a time. Don't just try and go crazy far, because I want you to keep focusing on pushing those hips down, pulling those knees apart, constantly forcing that chest up as I twist my body away from my knee. I'm not bringing my knee with me. And I'm pushing those hips down. I can't emphasize that enough. Those hips have to be going down. That chest has to be coming up. Good. Right, I'm going to go quiet because this is horrible. Relax the muscles. Go quiet. I can't go quiet. It's too quiet. Good. Great work, everybody. Stop the chit chat. Focus on the task at hand, please. Good. Okay, so like I say, have the blooming, I don't know why I threw a blooming in there. Have, have the blooming self-discipline to start moving around in these zones and take it a little bit further. Stop easing out of it, Cheryl. Are you getting kicked out? That's your last warning. Good. Right, now I'm coming back. That's why there's a blooming in there. I'm getting irritated. Because I'm in pain and people aren't holding it long enough. Right, come on. We're going back this way now, okay? Back this way. Dropping that elbow. Driving those toes into the ground. So, you know, I always thought about doing these classes real time before all this came on. About actually doing face-to-face mobility classes, but now I can see why I realised I didn't want to do them. Patience isn't a virtue I have. Good. Good, and relax, slowly ease out of it. It's taken to do this online stuff to make me realise that I'm not a people person. I do much better when I don't see you face to face. Is that terrible? No one's laughing, you must be taking it as an insult. Right, back on your feet, and we're going to do some squats, and this time you should feel like, woofed, you've almost had a hip replacement, not quite. So now I'm squatting, now I'm really feeling weird. Well, I don't mean I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling really loose, okay? I'm feeling like I'm getting great depth. Sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet here. I'm not, but this stuff works. I never invented it. It's common knowledge. So I'm squatting down because I'm pulling those knees apart, because great squats, Mark, absolutely fantastic, good. Nice to see you lying there doing hee-haw. So I'm pulling the knees apart. I'm getting that good mobility, which is allowing me to hit good depth. Without that mobility, that's where that starts to happen, okay? Again, a combination of ankles and groin in a squat. Also, we need a good bit of range in there for your deadlifts. You might not realise it, but all you're ever trying to do when you're doing a deadlift and setting up to the bar, this is not a deadlift lesson, is to try and get your hips as close to that bar as you can. The closer your hips are, the easier it is because your body's centre of gravity is closer to the bar. So you should be grabbing that bar, pulling those knees apart to get as close as you can. And if you don't have good mobility in there, that's when you'll probably find you struggle to get your lower back straight, especially if you're taller. And then a lot of people go, oh, my hammies are tight, I can't deadlift properly, my hammies are tight. A lot of the time, it's not the hammies. People just like to blame their hammies for everything. But again, these are things for another time. Next up, we're going back into that warrior one because it's fresh in everybody's head. And we're going to do a little bit of thoracic. We're kind of jumping ahead of the game here. Thoracic spine mobility. Now, what I mean by that, that's this, okay? So your upper back, this, to be able to mobilize that area is very important, okay? A lot of people lose it because we walk about like this, so we sit like that, so then it becomes a struggle to be able to open up that and then take it further. If you're squatting with a bar on your back and you've got bad thoracic mobility in your spine, including deadlifts, you're never going to be able to get that back straight. So that's when a lot of people end up like this. Again, most of the time it's chest, shoulders and back it's tight, but we need, especially deadlifts, if you're trying to get that chest up, if you've got really tight upper back, you're going to struggle regardless. So anyway, enough of me talking. Every day's a school day. Coffee's kicking in. Right, back into that position that we love. But now it should be fine, now it should be fun. So now we're going to be able to really focus on working that thoracic spine. And all we're doing here is the good old, oh come on. Just let me know when you're down. There we are, good, fantastic. Yep, take your time. We're not in a rush, it's only Saturday. Good, it'll soon be Sunday. So all I'm doing is this, okay? Now I'll talk you through what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to keep my knee pulled apart. I'm trying to keep my hips down. And all I'm doing is going side to side. Now the hand that's further away from your foot is the one you're probably going to struggle with, okay? So you might get to here and be like, what the bloody hell is this? That's okay, it's not okay, keep doing it. This side's not too bad. This side will be a lot harder. So if you're struggling to get up, just keep with it, okay? Keep with it and keep fighting it. Do it as often as you can, this one, okay? Now you can hold it if you like, but it's better that you hold it on the side that's tight. Okay, so if you're struggling to get up there, it could well be a combination of being tight in here, but chances are you're missing that rotation. Good, that mobility in your thoracic spine. Okay, we're only doing a wee bit of that. Change legs, we're only doing a wee bit because it's an easy enough one. And if you're struggling with that, you can do it in your own time, so make a mental note of that one. Onto the other side. Good. Now with this one, again, you may well feel it in your lower back. If your lower back's tight, those big meaty QL muscles at the bottom there, if they're tight, you're probably going to feel it on your lower back as well, okay? This is one I like to do before any lifting, okay? It's important, especially as the day goes on. If I've been stood up or I've been sat down a lot, this just becomes tight. So dead hangs and knees, these are my preferential ones for that upper back and just getting rid of that tightness, because it's important we get rid of that, okay? Especially if you're lifting. If you're lifting with all that tightness in your upper body, shoulder joints ain't going to be moving right. Your body's not going to move right through all these movements, and again, you start putting stress on areas that aren't meant to have that amount of stress on, simply because you can't get tight and you can't brace properly. Okay, so that was quick fire, just basically to get ahead of the game. So you can do that one in your own time. Next up, we're going glutes. We'll go for the enhanced glutes, get some water on board. Enhanced glute stretch, you know, like I say, I think it's pigeon pose if you're a yoga person. I am not a yoga person. So all I'm doing, I suppose we kind of are. We kind of are. Nothing against it, I just don't do it. Okay, so we're getting that leg out 90 degrees. If you get knee pain on this one, so do this. If I'm about, oh geez, so let's start again. If you get knee pain on the next one I'm about to show you, do this variation. Do everything I'm about to tell you, but don't lift that leg up, okay, if you get knee pain. Everybody else, if you don't get knee pain, and I don't want people going, oh, I'll get knee pain because this is tough. Get on top of it, and all I'm doing now is, again, pin that foot if you need to, and I'm getting up on top of it, and it's important you keep that shin at 90 degrees, okay? If you let that leg come back behind you, you're not getting the stretch, so let me show you from the side. So I've got that leg at 90 degrees. Let's get into it now. Stop dilly-dallying. Up onto the back of it. So straight away, I'm feeling that already, and my knee's not even on the ground. So I'm pinning that foot, I'm getting that knee on the ground, and I'm just getting my body up on top of it, okay? Pinning it down so that that foot doesn't slide down in between my butt and my groin, or whatever the hell area you want to call that. Good, good, fantastic. Fantastic, good. So do not let that knee come forward. You must keep that shin as vertical as you can. Again, if you're getting knee pain, do the version I showed you first. Now, all what we're trying to do here is you can kind of get the movement. If you move down, you're trying to pull the hip up this way. Okay, I'm trying to pull that up this way. So I'm trying to sit down, and you should feel that on the glutes. The hip capsule should feel like there's a lot of stress and pressure on it, but we're easing into it, okay? Now breathe, relax, and you'll probably find that you're tensing up against it, because it's a tough one for most people. It's a tough one. So make sure you're relaxed, and then once it starts to relax, you can get down onto it more. Good. Now if you're not down this far and you're up here going, oh my God, this is horrendous, then that's it. Just that's your horrendous zone, okay? If you're a bit more mobile, take it a bit further. Again, all you're trying to do is relax and let that muscle free itself up. If you're tense and in pain and shaking like a dog that's doing a poo, then you're not going to get the benefit of this, okay? You're not going to get the benefit. You need to be relaxing as best you can. I know it's hard to relax when it's uncomfortable, but that's why you need to think. Think about somewhere peaceful, or just listen to my voice. My voice, nice relaxing voice I've got today, slow, good. Let all your worries slip away. Good. Go to your happy place. Okay, 30 seconds. Taking it as far as I can now. This is awful. Really getting on top of it, really getting down onto it, really trying to open up that hip capsule, getting the glutes. Again, if you're really struggling with this one, which most people are, including myself, if you're feeling your lower back tight, this is usually the best, well, not the best, it's wrong to say the best way, but this is a surefire way to loosen it out, slowly ease out of this one, everyone. Oh wow. Right, so I'm going on to the other side. When you're ready, if you need to take a second, do so, because it's pretty uncomfortable. Yep, so anyway, that's where you'll find you get a lot of tightness. You get a lot of tightness in those glutes, especially higher up, which then feels like your lower back's getting it. But then on top of that, if that area is tight and it's pulling on your lower back, that's why your back can feel like it's burning a lot of the time, when you're uncomfortable. Oh, a lot of people, lower back, like I say, I got that question on that live one I'd done the other day. Your lower back could be sore from being on your feet all day. It could be sore from sitting on your arse all day. 9 times out of 10, it's a combination of just tightness in and around that area, not just your lower back, but probably everything connected to it, and weakness. Okay, so a lot of us have got weak lower backs because we sit with bad posture all day long, where that lower back doesn't have to work to hold us in together. So I'm up on top of this. Oh, come on. Jeez, oh. Good, so I'm up on top of it. This side, again, for me, is a lot tighter than the other side, so straight away I'm feeling it and I'm not even getting anywhere yet. That's perfectly normal. So yes, a lot of the time your lower back pain is not actually your lower back that's the cause, but it's usually a combination of tightness and weakness. How do we strengthen up the lower back? Do not avoid movements like deadlifts, get them done. Big functional movements that work your body as a whole, that strengthen up your whole back area, all the muscles around it. All these muscles that we're stretching out, they work together, they work as one quite often in these big movements. That's why I'm not a fan of doing all that isolation work. That's where we get a lot of imbalance, that's where we get a lot of problems. If you're spending all day trying to get a great six pack but doing loads of sit-ups, you're going to create a huge imbalance because that lower back's not working properly. Again, I'm not saying my circuit's a cap, but that's why usually if we're doing core work, there'll always be lower back in it. That's why I throw Supermans in quite a lot. But the likes of your burpees, if you're jumping out properly, that lower back's working big time, or at least it should be if you're jumping out properly. If you're doing that 1 foot back at a time nonsense, or you're not jumping all the way back, then your core's not working properly. I'm just talking, I'm filling the gaps with anything that might be useful to you. Good. Right, 30 seconds, get on top of it now, really drive it down, really drive into it. Let's get this one. We've pretty much done all the horrible ones. Maybe. We're nearly there. Good, it's amazing how quick an hour can go though. Right, slowly ease out. In as dignified a way as you can. Good. Right, well done. Right, let's get some squats on again. Squats on. If you like though, Mark, you know, don't you get up if you don't want to. So we're going to squat. We're going to squat. Oh wow, right, so I'm feeling that. That was quite a horrible stretch there for me. That's again, for me personally, that stretch is one I never get better at. It's one I have to do often. Okay, so that's usually ones that I'll throw in. I like, well, seeing as you asked, I like that one that we're out, we're really manoeuvring around in the groin, the big lunge one, the horrible one where we're hanging about. I like that enhanced glute stretch. Those are usually the two main ones I'll throw in before I start my warm-up, before I start lifting weights especially, because those are the areas I'm always tight in and I feel great. I don't feel great, it's wrong to say that. I feel better for doing it. Right, next up, we're going to throw ourselves into the hip flexor without the couch today, and then we're going to finish off with that hip capsule mobilization, that one that we love, that feels weird but we seem to get a lot from. So hip flexor, 2 more stretches and we're done. Hip flexor, you can do it with the couch variation if you've seen me do that, but today we're going to show you how to do it without the couch, and you're just going to get as good a stretch, okay? So all I'm doing is I'm tilting the hips. Straight away I'm in that big prominent lunge, okay? I've got my knee below my hip, so that's important. Knee below my hip. Now I want you to imagine the hips get tilted that way, tilted underneath your body. Squeeze the butt. Straight away you'll probably feel that. You probably feel it in your groin. You might feel it in the hip flexor. Now start shifting the weight forward, okay? As you shift the weight forward, tilt the body underneath and keep driving that glute underneath, okay? If you ease out of it and you go forward, you'll still get a stretch, but nowhere near, probably not hit the hip flexor properly. Okay, so I'm trying to push forward, and I'm just putting my hands here behind my butt so I can, pardon me, so I can push forward a bit more. And just make sure that I am keeping that stretch on my hip flexor here. Okay, good. Now you can put your arm up if you like, but we're not doing that today. I want to focus exclusively on here. A lot of the time when you put your hand up, if you're tight, you'll be like this going, oh, oh, and then you take the stretch away from the hip flexor and you focus more on this being tight. So we're all just going to keep our arms down and push forwards. Good. So as all these stretches go, take it a little bit further. Good. Keep focusing on pushing those hips through, tilting them underneath, driving the glute. And again, these muscles get pretty tight. This leg here, if you look while we're doing this, we're going to hold it for another 30. This leg here, the leg that's bent, the hip flexor here, is, imagine I'm sat in a chair. Ease out, oh my. So you can do quite a lot with that stretch, or at least I could. I'm getting a good stretch here, probably better I show you with this leg. So change legs, and I'll finish that talk. So tilt the body underneath, tilt the butt underneath, so straight away you can see underneath, good, and then pushing it forward and getting that initial stretch. So first part of this, I'm just taking it to point, I'm feeling the stretch, it's feeling like it's getting a good stretch in that hip flexor, and I'll hang fire there for 30 before I take it a wee bit further. So imagine with this leg, I'm in a squat. Oh, sorry, I'm in a seat, I'm sat down. Here's my hip flexor here, okay? Hip flexor's here. Right now in this position, that hip flexor's really short, it's shortened, the leg's bent. Now if I'm sat down, chilling out, relaxed, with my weight supported by a seat, that muscle's going to be relaxed. So that muscle's going to start adapting to being relaxed in that shortened position, so that when I start straightening it up, I start standing up, it's tight, it doesn't go to the extremes anymore with ease. Keep enhancing that stretch as I talk, please. And as a result, when you stand up tall, you're going to start finding there's tightness in here, which is going to be causing your hips to be tilted. Okay, and that's where a lot of people get that Donald Duck bum. When your bum starts, your pelvis starts tilting, which for some reason a lot of women enforce, they emphasize, which baffles me, because they all want a big booty, which again baffles me, but I'm just talking. Hope I'm filling you with knowledge here. So yep, squeeze the glutes as you walk. If you think you've got a Donald Duck bum, or you think it's cool to have a Donald Duck bum, it's not. You're going to pay the price when you're older. You're putting a lot of strain on your lower back, on that lumbar spine. So as you're walking about, if you find when you do relax and you look in the mirror side on that you have got to relax, oh my word. If you stand like this, I don't know if you can see it with a tight t-shirt on, without a tight t-shirt on, but imagine I'm tilted like that. I'm pronouncing it here. But if you look in the mirror and you see that happening, as in that, when you're relaxed and you feel a lot of pressure in here, when you're stood around all day, when you're walking around, squeeze your butt. You're not, now you're going to walk around like this, okay? But I'm not asking you to squeeze your butt the whole time. Squeeze your butt and that will reset your hips into the right position. Then start walking and then think about keeping the hips where they are. You might need to keep a little bit of tension on your glutes. But again, that's just a life lesson. Don't walk around like this, please, and think it's cool. It's cool. Cool's the wrong word, but hey up. Right, so we're going to do hip capsule mobilization and then we're done. This is going to take 5 minutes and then we're finished here. And you're going to go and do some squats after this and deadlifts and feel like a whole new person, maybe. Anyway, like I say, always pick the ones that really made a difference to you, as in the ones you found uncomfortable, or the ones where you stood up and went, oh wow, I feel like a new person, if there was any. I'd like to think there was. Pick them and use a few of them before you start warming up, regardless of whether you're doing weightlifting or not, because you're still going through these range of movements day to day. So hip capsule mobilization, we're old favourite. I'm going to do my best. Now you're going to be applying constant tension. I'm going to have to move around to show you what we're doing here. So straight away, I'm putting all the weight onto my right knee. Now, if you look at me, I can't even see myself to make sure I'm right. I've got my hip bone. Okay, I've got my hip joint, I've got my knee joint. I want your knee directly underneath, okay? Don't sit back like this, okay? So see how it's not, it's behind it now. Up on top of it, get all the weight on. That back knee, it doesn't have to be off. You can have it on. And now all I want you to do is start to pry by pushing this. This is where I'm going to move now. I'm trying to push that way. I'm trying to pop that femur out of the joint. It's the best way to describe it, one. We're trying to prise that femur out the joint by tilting my pelvis outwards. But I'm still keeping that knee underneath my hips. Don't start sitting back into it. So straight away, again, the knee of the opposite leg will not work in here. Just play around with that. As long as you're getting all that weight on. So again, I'm pushing out to the side. I'm going that way. I'm going away from my body until I'm feeling that. It's going to feel weird. Okay, this isn't a muscle stretch as such. We're not stretching those big long muscles. We're working the hip capsule, the actual joint, mobilizing it, freeing up some range. So don't move, do not move. I'm moving to show you. So I'm pushing that hip capsule out, popping that femur out. Now I'm starting to walk it down, get it forward. But, can you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to go this way, but slowly, while always trying to pop this out and keep all the weight on that knee. So the knee's fixed in position. I'm always trying to prise that femur out as I go down. Now, as you're going down, for example, I get to here. Oh, I'm feeling a lot of tightness in that hip joint when I move around here. So I'm going to hang about out here for a wee bit. Chill out, focus on taking it to the extreme. Again, I'm going to shift across this way to show you don't move out of it. So we're never easing out of this. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. What's the best position? Probably here. I'm trying to always, again, you shouldn't be doing this. I'm just doing it to show you, is I'm trying to push that femur out always, keeping that weight on the knee. And as I go down, keep going down and keep trying to prise it out, that joint. Come on, get back into it. Good. Now, once you end up down all the way at the bottom, that's where I want you to just play around with it. Okay, so you might come back up and feel more stiffness in the top part. Come back down. Again, move around, find a pocket of tightness and hold it. You might have to fold yourself into some weird angles here, everyone. So again, emphasize your knee should be on the ground. All the weight should be on that knee. And you're trying to pop that femur out of the hip bone. Okay, you're trying to pop it out. Good. Margaret, I don't know what's up. Can't you hear me? You don't know what you're doing? You don't know what I'm doing? Well, don't give up. Get back up on your feet and try it. Come on. Work with me. Everybody else, hold it. So Margaret, we're on all fours. We're knees below our hip bone. Straight away, I'm trying to pop. I'm trying to tilt the pelvis across away from my body to pop that femur out. Everybody else, move around and get areas, pockets of tightness. So first thing, I'm trying to pop it out. As I'm trying to pop it out, I'm then slowly moving forward, keeping all the weight on that knee. But I'm not asking you to rush it. We need to move slowly. If you find tightness here, hang about in it, okay? Hang about in it. Everybody else, change legs, okay? Everybody else, change legs. So I'm going to show you again. I'm on all fours. Knee directly underneath the hips. I'm going to prise that femur out first, that back leg, drop it behind you. And straight away, it feels weird. That's what you need to get out of the mindset here. We're not looking to feel a stretch in our quads or long muscles. You're literally trying to work and free up some range of movement in that hip bone. That's why it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel like you're popping that bone out the joint, or at least it should. As you continue trying to prise it out by tilting the pelvis away and keeping the full weight on that knee, you can start moving down and forwards, but still always trying to pop it out. It's one you have to play around with. It's one you're not going to feel a stretch the way you feel when we stretch your groin out. It's different. Again, it's the joint we're mobilizing here, not the muscle group. Okay, so all those little muscles in the joint itself, it's all reaped up tight, knotted up tight. Now play around with it if you've came down. Okay, this is why you need a good mat or something for those knees. If you're just on some laminate floor or something, then good luck to you. You'll need a knee replacement after this. Good. So you can see I'm moving around. I'm not easing out of this at all. I'm moving around. And again, just think of that mobilization we're trying to do. I'm trying to pop it out. I'm trying to free up some range. Good. Same kind of thing you would do if you found a knot when you were getting massage. You're getting that elbow stuck right in there, manipulating it, moving it around. Good. And again, like I say, it's one that's going to be individual to you and where you feel it. Ease out of that, everybody. Relax. Good. Now stand up on your feet and you'll probably feel a little bit drunk. Good. So straight away, that's giving us more range. It's allowing that hip joint to move a bit more freely. Okay. It's a weird one. You're not going to feel a stretch the way you feel when we stretch your groin to the extreme and you're going, oh. It's just one that you're trying to, again, with the joint, move it around. It's like that one we do for the shoulders. Anyway, everybody, that's us done. We'll call it a day there. Not a lot of upper body, but again, it was squat and deadlift focused. But even at that, going from how I felt this morning for someone who deadlifted 2 days ago and I'm really feeling stiff and tight, I'm already feeling that pressure on my lower back's away.